Is your existence a proposition?
No.
Wait 1 second. Blitz, is it true that you exist in reality?
Are you asking as a proposition, or are you asking as a state of affairs?
How do you know that?
I'm not going to get into the cogito with you. I actually can't justify it to you, but I can justify it to myself, and that's all I need. So, Qtop. So I asked you to not interrupt.
How do you know that? Wait, Blitz, do you know it's a straw man?
Yes, I do.
Wait, how do you know that? Tables don't have a truth value?
No. A proposition. It looks like people want Qtop to come on. Who knows why? But the people have spoken. Let's see how quick it takes him to crash out this time.
So yeah, this is just obviously you're right.
Hey, bud. How's it going?
I've never taken a poll to bring you up, Blitz. Like you
have a really bad reputation. And so I want to make sure that the people won't hate me for bringing you up.
Wait, a bad reputation according to who and by what?
According to my audience.
Oh, okay. So yeah, if you're just going to say like the collective atheist trolls in the live deem me to have a bad reputation, I mean, I can arbitrarily say that anyone has a bad reputation. I don't actually have a bad reputation. I'm not being arbitrary.
I'm just saying that with the people who are with the people who are my audience, you have a bad reputation. That's just true.
Wait, how would it not be arbitrary?
Because I specified exactly what people group we're talking about. Why is this relevant?
Is the people group like a standard of what a bad reputation is?
I was referring to your reputation with respect to them.
Yeah, so that just means it's with respect to arbitrariness. It wouldn't be based in any form of like objectivity, right?
To be clear, with respect to them, your reputation being bad is objectively true.
No, that's not how objective. Wait,
but this seems irrelevant. What do you want to talk about?
Objective truth to be?
I'm not gonna let you bait an irrelevant conversation. What do you want to talk about?
Atheists don't have objective truth. So are you claiming to like be?
Look, I don't think you do either.
I mean, I don't.
That's not. So what's the actual topic that you want to talk about? Like, do you want to talk about what truth is?
Yeah,
is that the goal?
Point I want to talk.
Is that what you want to talk about?
Okay. What I want to talk about is how the atheistic worldview is literally impossible. Metaphysically,
okay, yeah. So can you demonstrate that?
Scientifically. It's by the impossibility of the contrary. So when you ask me
so you're still running tag?
When you ask me to
demonstrate it.
When you ask me to demonstrate, are you asking me to demonstrate it from your worldview or from my worldview?
Look, so you're making a positive claim. I guess you would probably have to demonstrate it from my worldview, wouldn't you? If you're trying to critique my view as incoherent.
No. So you're making a positive claim as well. So you asked me to demonstrate the impossibility of the contrary. So when you ask me to demonstrate something,
I'm just asking you to provide the argument. That's not a claim. I'm just making a request of you.
Yeah. So essentially, what you're saying is that like arguments are possible in your world, right?
I mean, yeah, we can have arguments, yeah. But like that's like something that like, yeah, I'm happy to say that arguments are things that humans do sometimes. So can you provide support for your claim or no?
Wait, do arguments depend upon truth?
I'm sorry, I'm not going to let you pivot. Can you provide support for your claim or no?
Wait, you're asking me to you're asking me to provide support for my claim, yet providing support is not possible in your worldview.
Okay, so that's another claim. Can you provide support for that, please?
Okay, so then I'm going to ask you, can you demonstrate how you can provide support?
Not my burden.
It's your claim. Demonstrate how truth exists?
It's not my burden, it's your claim.
Your burden? How do you know that?
I'm not going to let you do that. Justify your claim or leave.
Do you see this? This is a very obvious pivot, Dr. Blitz.
Look, if you're,
it's a very obvious
this is a pivot. I'm literally, you're the one who's pivoting. I asked you to justify your claim that you made, where XYZ is impossible in my worldview, and then you said, "Oh, well, how do you know it's possible?" Like that is literally burden shifting. So I'm not going to let you do it.
Okay,
so please just justify your claim. You don't have to speak slower. Everybody understands you, and we'll all get bored if you speak slowly.
No. You
speak
don't
at a normal rate.
So you're asking me to justify my worldview.
I'm asking you to justify your claim.
Is okay. You're asking me to justify X. Okay. What that presupposes is that you have a worldview by which justification is possible. If you don't have a worldview by
No,
which
it doesn't.
justification
It
is
actually doesn't
possible, then
presuppose
my
that. It
point is
presupposes a
necessarily
worldview
the
where
case.
it presupposes that I believe I have a worldview where justification is possible.
Wait, how do you know you even believe that?
It's a subjective experience that I have direct access to.
Wait,
All
how
right,
do
you want to
you know
justify
you're
your
having a
beliefs?
subjective experience? How do you know
That's
that?
by definition, that's the only kind of experience you can have.
How do you know? Wait, stop.
That's just
How
by
do you know? You
definition.
keep making. How do you know that? How
It's
do you know
just
it's by definition?
that's just what I mean by the word subjective
Wait,
experience.
how do you know that's what you mean? How do you know that?
Are you being serious right now?
See, guys. This is
Are you
Dr.
being
Bliss's
serious right now,
problem. He doesn't
Qtop?
answer questions.
Are you being
Do you know
serious?
what? Wait, do you know you're asking me that question, Dr. Blitz? See, this is the problem.
Are you
Knowledge
being
isn't
serious?
possible in your world. You
Hey,
have a
Qtop, how
PhD,
does
but you don't
so
know
in your
anything.
worldview, how does
You have a
how does
PhD,
God
but you
justify his
literally don't know anything, Dr. Blitz. Your
so
name should. You don't
Qtop?
even know you're a
No, don't make
doctor.
me
Do
mute
you even
you.
know you have a PhD, Dr. Blitz?
So Qtop,
Now
does
he's
God
muting me
know
like.
anything? Yeah, I'm muting
Now
you
he's
because you
muting
won't let me
me.
talk. It's
He's
my
muting me like
live stream and you're not letting me talk.
I mean,
So Qtop, does
you're a
God know
coward.
anything? Does God know anything,
Repent of your
Qtop?
sins and believe in Jesus. You're a
Qtop,
coward.
does God know
Dr. Blitz
anything?
doesn't even know his name is Dr. Blitz. Have a good day. You've been totally annihilated.
Put on
And
your
you're the
running
same
shoes, Qtop. I
troll.
know you're good
You're
at
the
them.
same troll
Keep
and
putting on your
coward
running shoes.
I'm
Keep
running.
putting on your running shoes. Yeah, so
do you know
Qtop,
that?
does God know anything?
Know that, Blitz? Do you
Does
know
God
you're
know
asking me a
anything?
question?
Does
Do you
God
know
know
you're asking
anything?
a question? He
Does
knows
God know
all
anything?
things.
Okay,
All
how does he
things.
know? What is knowledge? Can you help me out? What's knowledge?
Yeah, so knowledge and disposition to what, God or us?
Just knowledge simpliciter.
Okay, yeah. So this is a category error you're making. Knowledge
I'm
is
asking a
defined
question.
fully
It's
in
not a
this.
category error.
Questions can be proposed as category errors because the question that you're asking can denote a specific category that is false. You're
What's the
asking me
category
a
that's false?
question. You're asking me a question about knowledge, and so I'm clarifying. Are you asking me the question in relation to God, or are you asking me the question in relation to man?
I'm asking the
what are you?
question in relation to the whole set of all things that have knowledge.
That's not. Knowledge has a different definition.
Okay, sure.
If you're asking me in accordance with man or God, you would know this, Blitz, if you've actually studied any philosophy.
So to be clear, when you say that God knows something, you don't mean that like there is a fact that God has an attitude, or there's a proposition that God has an attitude towards. That's not what you mean.
God is the concrete, fundamental, and ultimate instantiator of all propositions. So when we say that God knows a proposition, in other words, all we're saying is that the proposition in itself is being governed and instantiated and dictated by God. That's all I mean. When we say human beings, wait, I'm trying to clarify because you just asked me a question, and now when I go to answer your question, you cut me off.
I thought
when
you were
we
done.
say human beings know things, we're saying that knowledge is a revelation of God.
Well, that's not what I'm saying, but sure, that's fine. Okay, so can you repeat again?
That's my whole point.
Qtop, can you repeat again what your definition of knowledge was for God, just so I can have it fresh in my mind?
Yes, and you can type this out. Knowledge for God is an instantiation of a proposition which is necessarily dependent upon God. So all knowledge is just an instantiation of a proposition that God would be the ground of. So God is what is concrete, fundamental, and ultimate, which instantiates a proposition. So when we say God knows all things, in other words, we're just saying God instantiates all things. God's mind is what is fundamental. All knowledge is a divine idea. And we can know things because the divine idea is being revealed to us from God. I'm an objective idealist. I'm a Christian idealist. I hold to the same philosophical metaphysic as Jonathan Edwards.
So via that definition, could God know a false thing?
That's impossible.
So just to clarify, so the definition that you gave is knowledge for God. I just typed it out. So you said knowledge for God is an instantiation of a proposition which is necessarily dependent on God. Now, I could imagine, it's like conceivable that God could instantiate a false proposition that depends on him.
No, that's impossible.
Why is that impossible, given your definition?
Because So I will look. This is very simple. God as being what is concrete, fundamental, and ultimate. God as being the very substance and ontology of truth itself. Jesus Christ says in John 14:6, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. God is the identity state of what truth is. God necessarily is always truth revealing. So what you're saying is essentially the question that you're asking is, can something that is the foundation of truth reveal something that is not true? And that is problematic, that is contradictory, and that is false from a Christian worldview.
Okay, so then what grounds the existence of false propositions in your view?
False propositions don't exist. false propositions
2
are
plus
they
2 equals 5. Is that a proposition?
no, that's not a
Oh,
proposition in
what?
Christian worldview.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is a proposition in your worldview?
Yeah, a proposition is a statement.
Any statement is a proposition?
Well, yeah, statements that can be instantiated, obviously.
So 2 plus 2 equals 5 is a statement.
That statement cannot be instantiated. I just said statements
What
are
do you
things
mean?
that can be instantiated. When we say
Okay,
God
so
can do all things, a
what do you
thing is
mean
the possibility to
instantiated?
be actualized. Means that it has either the possibility of existence or it is grounded by that which is the foundation of existence.
Well, look, so like 2 plus 2 equals 4. I don't know what does it mean to instantiate 2 plus 2 equals 4?
Yeah, it means that that which is concrete, fundamental, and ultimate has revealed in the world and has designed a world where mathematical processes and conceptual systems are sequential. Meaning that when you take two things and you add it to two things, you get four things because the world exists in such a way ontologically in which it is governed by the mind of God, which dictates and instantiates that proposition.
I'm confused. So look, I agree that
I
like
know.
if you like take 2 apples and you put them next to 2 other apples, you get 4 apples. But that's a distinct statement from the statement 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? 2 plus 2 equals 4 doesn't refer to apples. It doesn't refer to, cars. It doesn't refer to, followers, whatever. It's an abstract statement. So I don't know what you mean by to instantiate it.
Yeah, abstractions are instantiated by that which is fundamental. Everything is an instantiation. So when
Right.
I say
So
instantiation, I just
so
mean
when you
I
say so why can't
yeah.
2 plus 2 equals 5 be instantiated? But 2 plus 2 equals 4 can
Yes,
be if they're
because
both abstract statements.
because the statement cannot correspond to reality. Reality is the mind of God. So 2 plus 2 equals 5 is not an instantiation because for something to be instantiated, it has to exist. And for something to exist, it either exists abstractly or concretely. And if it either exists abstractly or concretely, that means it's necessarily dependent upon the universal which grounds concrete existences and abstractions, which would be what is concrete, fundamental, and ultimate, which is universal, which would be God. So
Look, setting aside the rambling that you just did, it seems like you said that
you
things
can
could be
call it
abstract.
rambling
You said that things could either be.
you
You
can
said that
call
things
it
can either be
you
abstract
can
or
call
concrete.
it okay.
You said that things can
If you're
either
gonna
be
have a
abstract.
productive
Look, you
discourse,
definitely did
Blitz,
just ramble.
Blitz,
Like if you don't know what you did,
Blitz,
then it's fine. You don't have to admit it. But look,
Blitz. You
if you
call
said that
rambling.
things can either
You
be. You
call
said,
rambling
look,
what
I'm not going to let
destroys
you
your
interrupt me.
worldview.
So you
Yeah,
said that things can either be
of course,
concrete.
Blitz,
You
because you're
said
a
that things can
coward.
either be concrete or abstract. And like, sure, we can grant that that's the case. But
Rambling,
it
Blitz.
seems like you said that, and I'm really just trying to understand your worldview. You don't have to preach to explain it.
You're rambling.
I'm really just trying to understand why is it that in order for God to instantiate an abstract thing, it has to be linked to a concrete thing?
Yeah, so all abstractions necessitate a universal, which is God. God is the universal concrete that grounds all abstractions.
That's cool, but I'm just asking why God can instantiate 2 plus 2 equals 4, but can't instantiate 2 plus 2 equals 5.
Because 2 plus 2 equals 5 is a false statement. Falsity does not exist. All instantiations must exist. In order for something to exist, it has to be true. What does it mean for something to have a false existence? What does that even mean, Blizz?
Well, look, if you believe that propositions exist, if you believe that statements exist abstractly, then you can have false propositions and you can have true propositions, and there's no issue there.
No, I don't believe that false propositions exist. I believe when we
Then you're
talk
just
about
confused.
propositions, I mean, I can just say that you're confused, Blitz. You don't even know anything at
Well,
all.
no, I mean, so do you think that negation is not a valid operator?
Yeah, negation is a conceptual operator, not a real operator.
Do you think that? Hold on. You don't think that logical operations exist abstractly?
When you say logical operations, what do
Yeah.
you mean by that?
Yeah, things like conjunction, disjunction, negation.
Yeah, they exist as a methodology for us to determine
Do they
what is
exist?
true. But they
Do
don't
they
actually
have?
have a
Do they
con- they
have
don't have a
abstract
real
ontology?
existence.
Do they have
No,
abstract
not at
ontology?
all.
No, they don't.
Not at all. Falsity does not have an ontology. No.
Okay, I didn't say falsity. I said conjunction, disjunction, and negation.
That's what falsity. Well, okay. When you describe modal operators, because that seems that's what you're describing. Okay, if when we talk about modal operators, what is necessary?
Those aren't modal
possibility-
operators.
Okay, Blitz, you have this like this you have this like really like pseudo intellectual complex about you, and it's just really like low tier. Okay, A disjunction is a type of modal operator because it's
Is
either
it
a
shitty if I say
conjunction or
this is the pot
disjunction.
calling the kettle black?
Blitz, is it shitty that I can say that you are literally up here and you think you have a PhD, but you don't even know you have a PhD because
That doesn't
you're
make me a
willfully
racist,
around
does it, if I
knowledge?
say that? Because that's just a
Blitz,
phrase.
does it make me a racist if I say that you look like a rat, Jaylee?
I mean, like, probably not, as long as you're not ascribing it to any qualities that I have.
Well,
Any, like,
I think I'm
intrinsic
ascribing.
qualities that I have.
I think I'm ascribing it to your face, Blitz, because you literally look like a mole rat, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Okay.
bro.
Okay, I'm sure.
But again, back on topic, Dr. Blitz. Okay, again, right?
But
You don't
like,
understand.
look,
You don't understand philosophy. I just broke this down to you.
Are you sure?
I just
Are you sure?
explained to you
Because you
that
just said
false
that false
propositions
propositions don't exist. And you also think that true
Yes. Do you think?
propositions are
Wait, one second.
have abstract existence.
Yes. Do false propositions exist, Blitz?
Well, I don't think propositions have ontology to begin with, but this is a critique of your worldview.
Yeah. So 1 second. Wait, is your existence a proposition?
No.
Wait, 1 second. Blitz, is it true that you exist in reality?
Are you asking as a proposition or are you asking as a state of affairs? You have to stop giggling if you want an answer.
Is it true? I'm gonna clip this.
Is this a proposition?
Is it true? Is it true that you exist in reality?
Is this a proposition or a question about the state of affairs? Because those two are distinct.
Wait, how do we separate propositions from states of affairs? What's the distinction you're making?
States of affairs are descriptions of the way things are. Propositions are sentences about those ways.
Oh, perfect.
They can also be sentences about other things that are not those ways, but that's neither here nor there.
So the states of affair. Wait, so the states of affairs are just a description, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we use language to describe things?
All the time.
Okay, perfect. So essentially, your existence is dependent upon language, correct?
No, descriptions of my existence are dependent upon language.
Wait, so
are you confused?
Is your existence independent upon the state of affairs?
My existence is part of the state of affairs.
No, is it independent of the state of affairs? That's the question I asked you.
It's part of the state of affairs. I think
That's
that you can probably. I think that you can probably infer what the answer is.
The state of affairs
doesn't have dependence. It doesn't.
This is the running.
Look,
we got
if you
running
want me to
Randy
answer your
over here
question,
now.
look. So, are you stealing from Ian now? That's so funny. So, look, the state of affairs does not stand in causal relation to things. It doesn't stand in grounding relation to things. It's just a description of the way things are.
Okay, so if it's just a description, it stands in no causal relation. Is your existence causally connected to reality? Yes or no?
Causal? I don't know what that question means.
Is your existence connected to what is real?
It's my existence is part of what's real.
I didn't ask you if it's part of what is real.
I don't know what you mean by connected then.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. When you say your existence is part of what is real, is that just simply a descriptor of a state of affairs?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So when you say your existence is a part of what is real, this statement is dependent upon the language that we are using to describe the statement, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. We use language to describe things. You should read Wittgenstein. I'm probably not going to, but you should.
So your existence is just simply a convention of human language.
No, the description of my existence is.
Okay, is there a distinction? Because you didn't answer the question.
Between the way things are and the description?
Between the description of the state of affairs and the state of affairs themselves.
Yeah, sure. One is a description, the other is the way the thing actually is, or the way that is the thing itself.
I'm asking you about the ontology. So this state of affairs that is your existence. Is the state of affairs real? Is the state of affairs true?
I don't know what you mean by true. If it is part of the state of affairs, then it is real, kind of by definition.
Oh wait, so it's just real by definition?
Well, that's what it means for something to be part of the state of affairs, right?
Well, I mean that's just how you're defining. Okay, so if it's just real by definition,
we would say that something is not part of the state of affairs if it's not real, and it is part of the state of affairs if it is real.
Okay, so if it's just real by definition, that seems arbitrary. So is that
what's arbitrary about this?
Are definitions objective or subjective?
Definitions are created by the way that we use the words.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's created by the way that we use the words, the state of affairs, which is your existence, if it's just
not my existence, the state of affairs. Well, okay, my existence is part of the state of affairs. You're confused.
What does that even mean? What does that mean?
There are other things in the state of affairs besides my existence, right? Like, the existence of my water bottle or whatever. That's also in the state of affairs.
Okay, so the state of affairs is just a description. The state of affairs doesn't actually have an ontology.
So the state of affairs points to the state of affairs is like the word or the language that we use to point to like the way things actually are.
Right? But how do you know the way that things actually are? How do you know that?
We don't necessarily know them. If you want to be a global skeptic, you can be. I'm not, because I take phenomenological conservatism seriously.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding you, Blitz. I genuinely just want to make sure I'm understanding you. Like at
this is so tiring.
I'm
Qtop, have you ever had a conversation in good faith?
Wait, hold up. I'm just trying to understand you. So you said that your existence is a part of a state of affairs. You're saying that this state of affairs, right, is just what actually is. You're saying that it's just definitional or just tautological, that the state of affairs is just what is real. But then when I ask you, how do you know that the state of affairs is actually what is real? Then your response is, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know with 100% certainty, but I'm a fallibilist, so...
Okay, wait 1 second. Wait. So you know with probability?
Yeah, well, yeah. The way I understand the word "no" is
so you don't even know you
have a high degree in credence. No, there are some things there are some things that I can say I have certainty in. For example, I would say that I have certainty that I exist, even if I can't demonstrate it to anybody else.
Wait. Hold up. You just said that the state of affairs is tautological, which essentially just means that the state of affairs is just true by definition. It's not that
it's not true. What do you, it's not a proposition. It doesn't have a truth value.
Okay, I'm not playing semantics with you. When you say the state of affairs, all you're saying is that it's just tautological. It's
not tautological. It doesn't. Do you know what these words mean?
Oh my
like
God.
Lock in, Qtop. Like
game, now he's playing this game,
lock in, dude.
Now he's
like
playing
it doesn't make sense to talk about something that's not a proposition as with a truth value.
We already went over this.
What are you doing?
We already went over this. I'm using your understanding of truth. You're a deflationist, so I'm using your understanding of truth. When you say that the state of affairs is real, or the state of affairs, or that you or your existence,
the state of affairs is the collection of the
the collection of affairs
is basically. Hold on a sec. Let me try to explain what I'm trying to convey without you interrupting, okay?
Blitz, I already know what you're... Blitz, I'm going to stillman you.
Oh, okay,
Tell me if I'm wrong.
Repeat. Go ahead, please.
I'm stillman you. Yep. What you're saying is that your existence is a part of a state of affairs. When I ask you what the state of affairs is, when I ask you the relation, you're using part. So you're saying there are all these things that exist in the state of affairs, but your existence is a part of the state of affairs. Then I ask you, what is the state of affairs? You said the state of affairs is just what is real. Then you said it's just the definition of the state of affairs. Then I asked you, how do you know that state of affairs is real? And then you said, I don't know that state of affairs is real.
Yeah, so what do I mean by that?
That's literally the full conversation. I don't need you to try, bro.
Wait, are you going to steel man me, or are you going to straw man me? So what do I mean by that?
You're weak in philosophy. I just steel manned you.
No, you didn't. Well, so steel manning would be conveying what I meant, and you didn't do that. So you didn't steel man me. So you were incorrect. Now you did repeat roughly what I said. But you didn't steel man me. So to steel man to someone is to present their argument in the way it was intended, right?
No problem.
In the best light, if you will. So let me convey to you what I was trying to convey. So look, there are certain things, there's probably exactly one thing that I can be certain of existing, and that's my own experience, right?
How do you know that? How do you know that?
I'm not going to get into the cogito with you. I actually can't justify it to you, but I can justify it to myself, and that's all I need. So Qtop. So I asked you to not interrupt.
How do you know that? How do you know that? You just made a statement.
All right. So
you won't answer. You're a coward. You're a coward.
I was in the middle of a sentence. So you can.
He doesn't know. You're a coward.
So look. So the point is that.
Do you know we're having a conversation? Do you know how?
So the point is that there's perhaps only one thing that I can be certain of existing. However, there are a lot of things that I can be very, very certain exist. And so when I say that I know that there are other things in the state of affairs, like my water bottle, what I mean is that I have a high degree of credence that such a thing exists. Now, if you want to be a global skeptic and say, oh, well, you can't know anything with certainty, well, fine, I guess. I just don't hold that view. I hold to phenomenological conservatism. I think that you have justified beliefs in things, and you can have high credence in things, especially if things seem a certain way. So when I say that, I know my water bottle exists, or I know my keyboard exists, or I know that you exist, what I mean is that I have a high degree of credence, and I can come to that conclusion via phenomenological conservatism, as it seems to be the case that is the way that it is. And therefore, I can build up what I would call reality, which, is a collection of things, and that is the state of affairs that we live in. Now, if you have a problem with any of that, by all means, feel free to address what I actually said rather than strawmanning me like you are wont to do.
Yeah, I didn't strawman you. I literally just repeated exactly what you said, but it's okay.
Can you repeat back to me what I said?
Oh my gosh, bro, this is so low tier. Like this
Can
is
you repeat
literally
back to me
so
what I
low.
said?
Let's all you did was you just invoked phenomenological conservatism to try to cover up how you can't know anything. That's literally all you just did, bro.
Sorry, can
But
you
let me,
repeat
but,
back to me
but
what I
let
said?
me have an
Because you
opportunity.
also
Can I have an
you
opportunity?
missed some
Can
really important
I just let you
features.
speak? Wait,
You missed some really
I just
important
let
features.
I actually didn't. I
You
actually
did.
didn't. I actually didn't. I really
Well,
didn't.
maybe you weren't paying attention because you were trying to
All you
unmute.
did was just say that things seem to be a certain way, therefore you can know things. You said you can't know things with certainty, but you have a high credence. That's literally all you said. But here's the problem: when you say
Mm-hmm.
that you have a high credence, are you certain that you have a high credence?
No, I don't need to be.
Wait. Do you know you don't need to be?
Are you trying to equivocate between your definition of no and my definition of no? Because I think that that's what you're
Liz,
trying to
I
do.
find it strange that you turned off the chat. Why do you turn off the chat, bro?
The chat's not off.
The chat's not up. Wait, why can't I see nobody chatting?
You probably turned off the chat because everybody was making fun of you.
What? How can I turn off the chat and you're live? Are you good, bro?
Bro doesn't know how TikTok works because he bought 900,000 followers and he didn't actually grow them organically,
I
huh?
bought 900,000 followers now,
Yeah.
guys. Wow. Good one, Blitz. Good one, dude. Yo, that anger's coming out. That demon's coming out now, bro. That demon's coming out, dude. That demon's coming out. It's crazy. That's wild. That's
That hit
wild.
home, didn't it?
If you
That
think
hurt.
hitting home, if you think hitting home is not even approaching the driveway, then yeah, that definitely hit
Okay.
home.
Okay.
So yeah,
You just
Dr.
seem like
Blitz,
you got
man.
really upset by that.
Well, of course you would think that because you don't even know that we're even having a conversation right now. So of course you
Well,
would think that.
that's a cool straw man, but you know,
But
go on.
wait, Blitz, do you know it's a straw man?
Yes, I do.
Wait, how do you know that?
Because I have the subjective experience of hearing you straw
See,
man.
now the chat is on. See,
Mm-hmm.
now you just turn the chat on. See, now the chat is on.
The chat's been on the whole time.
No, okay, well, I'm just seeing the chat now. So Blitz. Wait, so you made a claim. You said that I committed a straw man. How do you know that?
Because I have the subjective experience with it. I have direct access to that experience of the straw man.
So wait, so you just know it subjectively. So all knowledge is just subjective to you.
It's a subjective experience, yeah.
Oh,
Your
perfect. So
your weird words entering my ears, that's a subjective experience.
so
yeah.
there
If
is
you
no
don't
wait,
if
so
you
there
don't
is
think
no
that that's the
mediating.
case, then like
So
I don't
there
know
is
how to
no
help you, man.
mediating. So there is no mediating principle to actually get to what is true in reality. You're just saying that we're
Subjective
both
doesn't
just
make it
making.
not true.
Oh, subjective doesn't make it not true. Wait, so when you say something is true, are you saying that it corresponds to what is real or no?
I don't hold a correspondence theory of truth, Qtop. Are you just importing
So
your
what's your
correspondence
so
theory of
what's your
truth onto
theory?
everybody
Oh
else's
wait, so
worldview? I'm a
so how
pluralist,
do
my
we
guy.
determine? So cash that out for me.
Yeah, so depending on what type of proposition you're referring to, I hold different standards or different means of determining whether something is true. Now, you actually don't believe in basically any proposition. You don't think that basically any proposition exists. So I don't think that you have any way of actually establishing what's true or not, because
Yeah, I never said I don't believe propositions exist.
no, you
I
don't
said I
believe
don't believe
you
false
believe
propositions
almost none
exist.
of them exist. So wait a minute, hold on, Qtop.
Incorrect.
Oh my god,
Incorrect.
this is such a
Incorrect.
huge dunk. So
Incorrect.
Q-Top, hold on.
Oh, he
Let's
thinks
say
he's
you
about to dunk, y'all.
let's say that there's a proposition. Let's say that there's a proposition you don't know the truth value of it. Does it exist or not?
Yeah, so all propositions that are true exist in reality.
Yeah, so let's say that there's a
What are you talking
proposition
about?
that you're thinking about. You're investigating its truthiness. Does it exist or not?
I don't know when you say I'm investigating its truthiness. I don't even know what that means. And by
Yeah,
are
you're
you using
trying to
truth
figure out
according to
if
my
it's
worldview or
true.
your worldview?
You're trying under your worldview. You're trying to figure out if a proposition is true.
But we don't use we don't use when you say that we're using propositions to figure out if another proposition is
No, I
true.
didn't say you're using a proposition. I say you're trying to figure. There's a proposition in front of you. Somebody told you about it. You read about it somewhere. You don't know if it's true, and you're trying to figure out if it's true. Does that proposition exist?
I wouldn't have epistemic access to if it exists. If it's true,
So you
true,
think
it
that you'd
exists.
be
If it's not true,
investigating
it
something that
exist.
doesn't exist? You think it's possible that you're investigating something that doesn't exist?
If it's false, obviously that's what falsity is. If we
Okay, so
have
then
a
what were you
hypothesis-
investigating
wait,
if it
hold up,
doesn't
wait,
exist?
Blitz, wait, hold up. Can I answer your question? Because
Yeah.
this is like a very like low tier. This is like really like stage 1 like philosophy class.
Then you would fail stage 1 philosophy, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So when we investigate propositions, right? Like it is either the case that the proposition is true or the proposition is false. If I'm using some sort of like logical operator and I'm trying to investigate whether the proposition is true or false, if the logical operator like determines that the proposition is false because the world is actually constructed in such a way that methodologies and laws of logic are possible because God is the mind that grounds all what everything that is possible and what is impossible. Starting from that ontological framework, using a proper methodology to determine if propositions are true or false. If the proposition is false, it would just be the case that a proposition doesn't exist. But I can use a methodology to determine what does exist and what doesn't exist. I don't know why you're trying to like. This is like very simplistic. I
I'm
don't know
sorry,
why you're
did
just
you
not.
say, so I have a direct quote from you.
If
I
this
have
is
a
what your
direct quote
dunking
from you,
is, Blitz,
Qtop.
if this is what your dunking is, Blitz, you're not even on the
It's just
basketball court,
embarrassing
bro.
because like no, like you just shouldn't have said that false
Blitz,
propositions don't
Blitz,
exist.
I know you're embarrassed,
So
bro.
so Qtop, your words were it's true that either the proposition is true or the proposition is false. So you're agreeing that propositions can be false.
I never said propositions can be false.
You said,
I said
or
either
the proposition is false.
when I say that oh my gosh.
Can a proposition be false?
Let me put this. No,
a proposition can't be false. You guys heard it here first. Oh, this is such a
yeah.
Qtop,
So Bliss,
I appreciate
you're not
you coming on for the free content.
Wait. So Bliss is now running because he.
Oh
just,
no, I'm not kicking you. I want you to stay on so then I can get a longer video out of this.
So, yeah. So I'll unpack it again because maybe your like PhD level brain is just not understanding. So I'll unpack it again. I don't know like why this is like some weird coping meta tactic.
Please, absolutely.
Yeah. So true propositions are just propositions that exist. In the Christian worldview, that which is concrete, fundamental, and ultimate, which is the mind of God, dictates all instantiations of true propositions. We use proper methodologies in our reasoning, like logic, classical systems of logic. We can use predicate logic, modal logic. There's different logical operators, but we use logical systems to determine if propositions are true or false. So that's a perception to man, not a perception to God. So when I say that a proposition is false, that proposition wouldn't exist. The proposition, we can like conceptually entertain the idea of a false proposition, but false propositions don't actually exist because for something to exist, it has to be grounded in the mind of God. And because God's mind is the fabric of truth, falsity wouldn't actually have a positive existence. So I know in your worldview, Blitz, without something that is concrete, fundamental, and ultimate, that is the grounding of truth, right? You wouldn't actually have a justification for saying that false propositions don't exist. Obviously, false propositions could exist because when you say false propositions, that's just a subjective mental state in your mind. You don't know what is actually true and what is false. You're living in a subjective world, right? And that's why you won't answer my questions about knowledge. You won't answer my questions about truth. You won't answer my questions about reason. You won't answer my questions about logic. You won't answer any of these questions. You just keep pivoting and dodging, yet speaking words as if your worldview makes sentences intelligible.
Sorry, did you just say false propositions could exist?
No.
Well, you did. Want me to replay it?
I say we conceptually entertain false propositions.
Okay, so what are we conceptually entertaining?
The nature of not truthness.
The nature of not truthness. We're conceptually entertaining the nature of not truthness?
Yeah, Blitz.
Sorry, what's not truthness called?
Falsity.
Okay, so we're conceptually entertaining the nature of falsity. Now, so you're telling me that there is a nature of falsity?
Yeah, do you know what I mean when I say nature?
So wait a minute, there are things that are false, including the nature of falsity?
There are not things that are false.
Wait, if there's a nature of falsity,
what is false?
If there's a nature of falsity, then that nature, so does anything have this nature?
Oh my goodness gracious. Do you know?
Does anything have the nature of falsity?
Do you know what I mean by nature?
Probably something like essence. It's probably one of these very vague words that Christians like to throw around.
No, Bliss. No.
Then
Bliss.
Elaborate.
So so this is part of the problem. This is part of the problem when we talk philosophy. You have to understand the semantic domain of the words that I'm using. When I say the nature of falsity, all I'm meaning is just that things that are false are not true. So the nature of falsity is just the nature of non-truthness. Nature, all nature it means it's just some sort of conceptual paradigm or some sort of like conceptual scheme that we engage in when we determine if propositions are true or false. All falsity means it's not truth.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. I agree. Qtop, did you say things that are false are not true?
Yes.
Okay, so are there things that are false?
Conceptually, yes.
So there are things that are false.
These things don't exist. It's a concept. Yes, they are
So
conception.
there's nothing that exists that's false?
Correct. Yes.
So everything that exists is true?
Yes. Yes. Can you give me one thing that exists that is false?
2
Can you
plus 2
please
equals
give me?
5, my
You're
guy.
laughing, but you don't have an objection.
2 plus
You
2
guys see
equals
how he's
5, my
laughing, but doesn't
guy.
have an objection. Blitz, all you can do is laugh to cope. Yes, give me one thing that exists that's
yeah,
false.
I'm laughing because you're doing
Give me
a lol
one
cow
thing
right
that
now.
exists
2
that
plus
is
2
false,
equals 5.
please.
2 plus 2 equals 5.
What?
It's a sentence. It
That
exists.
doesn't
2 plus 2 equals
exist.
5.
You're a
Oh, I'm sorry.
coward.
I'm sorry.
You
Did I
think 2
just
plus
did
2
I just
equals 5 exists?
did my mouth just not emit sounds?
Wait, Blitz,
Did
you think 2
my
plus
mouth
2
just
equals
not
5
emit 5?
exists?
Did my mouth just not emit sounds?
What? Everyone
I'm sorry.
spam the laughing. I want all the Christ game warriors in here to spam the laughing emojis. Blitz thinks that the statement 2 plus 2 equals 5. That statement actually exists.
You know what? If you guys think Qtop is being silly, you should also spam the laughing emoji.
It's a conception that we can entertain in our subjective paradigms. It does not exist in
does
reality.
that conception exist?
All things that exist
that
in
conception
reality
exist?
are grounded by what is true.
Sorry,
God is what
do
is
our
fundamental and
conceptions
ultimate, which is
exist?
true.
You gotta let me talk.
What?
Qtop, do our conceptions exist?
Not in reality.
So they're not
False
real, you're telling me?
So
our conceptions aren't real.
The ontology of the conception exists in reality, but what the conception is describing may not exist. I can conceive of a unicorn. That doesn't mean that unicorn exists in reality. My conception of a unicorn exists in reality, but it doesn't mean that the unicorn itself exists in reality. So there's one second.
Can conceptions be true or false?
Really low tier.
Can conceptions be true or false? Can conceptions be true or false? Qtop, answer the question. Can conceptions be true?
Let me explain.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Qtop.
I
No,
just
I'm
let
sorry.
you ramble.
Qtop,
I just let you ramble, and now you want to let
if the
me answer
conceptions
questions.
exist, are the
You
conceptions
are a
true?
coward.
Qtop, are the conceptions
What?
true? Are the conceptions true?
The ontology or the description?
Are conceptions true?
The ontology or the description?
However you interpret that to be, are conceptions true?
Bro, you have to let me know what you mean when you use the words that you're using.
You use the word true to describe things. So I'm asking,
this is so disingenuous.
you use the word true to describe things, like you would say that a table is true, and I don't understand that. But in the same sense that you would say a table is true, would you say that a concept is true or a conception is true?
What do you not understand about a table being true?
A table isn't a proposition.
A table isn't a proposition. Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. What is a proposition? Oh my goodness.
Haven't we already had this conversation? Why are we looping back?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, a proposition is a type of sentence that has a truth value. There's other characteristics we could look into specific definitions if you want, but that's like a basic.
Wait. Tables don't have a truth value?
No. A proposition will have connectives. It will have predicates. It will have
can something
objects.
exist and not have a truth value?
Yeah, those two things aren't the same type of. You're making a category error. Like what does it mean for a table to be true? What would it mean for a table to be false? Like what are you talking about?
It exists in reality, Blitz. That's what it means when things are true. It means they exist in reality.
Oh my god, are you confusing the correspondence theory of truth with like some weird version of truth that's just like ontology?
Bro, Blitz,
like this is really embarrassing for you, my guy. Like
Blitz, this is embarrassing for you.
Look, the correspondence theory of truth. The correspondence theory of truth. The correspondence theory of truth is merely the statement that propositions are true when they point to some fact about reality, right? But it's still about propositions. It's still the truth value still applies to propositions. It doesn't apply to the things in reality, right? Like it seems like you're like, I know that you love to say that like, oh, he doesn't know anything about whatever about philosophy, but like you should just read some, like a little bit.
Yeah. So now just to clear up this like really pseudo intellectual blunder here. Yeah. So
okay, yeah,
propositions. So propositions are going to be cashed out differently and according to a semantic domain. Depends on what like your philosophy of fact is, your philosophy of truth is. We unpack the word proposition.
Yeah. So how are you defining proposition?
So I'll go over this like the fifth or sixth time here. It's literally no problem.
Mm-hmm.
So from the objective idealist perspective, we just believe that the mind is the ground of all things, which is God, and we believe that all propositions or divine ideas necessarily correspond to what is real. So when we say proposition,
what does correspond mean there?
We don't take. Well, I want to unpack the definition that you can answer.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. That's why I want you to unpack what you mean by correspond.
Yeah, relates to.
So is it the same as?
Correspond means it relates to. It doesn't mean
right. So a proposition isn't this. So the proposition, which is the thing that we agree has truth value, right?
propositions necessitate truth value.
Right. So
But
that's what propositions have.
are,
But propositions correspond to things in reality, in your view. So like there's a proposition that corresponds to the table existing. But that doesn't mean the table itself has a truth value. You're getting confused by your own worldview.
Okay. So no. So this is a common like semantic blunder here you're making. The table
you can keep calling it a blunder, but you're just confused.
The table. Yeah, I mean, you can just keep coping. I can just keep repeating myself to try to explain this to someone who thinks he's a PhD, but he's not. So really simply.
Wait, do you think that I actually don't have a PhD?
I don't think you know you have one. No. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, both in the way that you understand knowledge and in the way that I understand knowledge, I know that I have a PhD. So it just seems like a weird statement to make.
So how do you know you have a PhD, Blizz? How do you know?
Under whose worldview? Yours or mine?
Well, under what? Wait, are you assuming God exists?
Because if we're working under your worldview, so under your worldview, I know that I have a PhD, right?
Well, what do you mean under my worldview? Are you accepting my worldview to be true?
Look, you accept your worldview to be true, and so if we use your worldview as the foundation for however you're producing thoughts, then you would know that I know that I have a PhD.
I mean, well, right? I don't know what you know, to be honest with you, but I mean, and yes, my worldview. Well,
you would be able to infer. You would be able to infer that I know that I have a PhD, right?
So as an hold on,
please answer the question. Please answer the question. I'm not letting you pivot. Please answer the question. I don't know,
but I can't infer anything about you, bro. Honestly, I like the way that you're speaking right now.
We kept him on for a while.